All right, so we got one of these stories here that sort of flips the entire political world on its head and confuses everybody under the sun, at least people who don't follow this stuff closely, is in the New York Post. White House to fill gaps in Trump's border wall after Biden pledged not to build anymore. The White House is completing more sections of former President Donald Trump's border wall, with the Department of Homeland Security closing 4 gaps in the barrier near Yuma, Arizona, that have become a major migrant thoroughfare. No, I don't think I've ever seen that word before. DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas authorized Customs and Border Protection Thursday to seal the openings near the Morelos Dam just west of downtown Yuma. The department said the area presented safety and life hazard risks for migrants attempting to cross into the United States, where there's a risk of drownings and injuries from falls. This area also poses a life and safety risk to first responders and agents responding to incidents in this area. The dam sits in a section of the border that runs north to south along the Colorado River before turning on an east-west track at the California-Arizona state line. Border officials have reported 235,230 migrant encounters in the Border Patrol Yuma's sector since October 1st of last year. Only the Del Rio and Rio Grande Valley sectors have reported more encounters in the same period. I guess you have a picture of one of the gaps in the wall near the dam. President Biden ordered a halt to border wall construction shortly after taking office in January 2021. While the move was praised by liberal activists, it also left holes in the barrier that critics, including Biden's fellow Democrats, say have been exploited by individual migrants and human traffickers smuggling groups of people across the border. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre repeatedly insisted Friday that the Biden administration isn't finishing the border wall, which Trump declared a national emergency in 2019 to build before later winning congressional appropriations for the project. Quote, "Why is the Biden administration building a border wall in Arizona?" Fox News correspondent Peter Doocy asked Jean-Pierre, I don't even know how to say it, at her regular briefing. "We're not finishing the wall," she answered. "We are cleaning up the mess the prior administration left behind in their failed attempt to build a wall." Come on, man. You got to hit us with a better line than this. This is nonsense. But President Biden, when he was a candidate, said, "There will not be another foot of wall constructed in my administration," insisted Doocy, referencing a statement by the Democrat in August 2020. "So what changed?" "We are not finishing the wall," she repeated. Doocy went on, "If walls work in that part of Arizona, is this the administration trying to get migrants to cross somewhere else, like in Texas? What's the point?" She replied, "We are not finishing the wall. We are cleaning up the mess the prior administration made. We are trying to save lives. This is what the prior administration left behind that we are now cleaning up. By finishing the wall, is this, we are not finishing the wall. By filling in, finishing. We are not finishing the wall." She again interjected. By filling in the wall, is this racist?" Doocy asked cheekily. "Because in 2019, when former guy Trump was proposing a wall, you said that it was his racist wall. So how is this any different?" "I'm not even sure you know how you get from your first question to this question and that you just asked me," she said. "A border wall is an ineffective use of taxpayer dollars. Just recently, Customs and Border Patrol reported that new bollard fencing along the southwest border was breached 3,272 times between fiscal year 2019 and 2021, requiring $2.6 million in repairs. It's ineffective. We are not finishing the wall. We are cleaning up the mess the last administration made." A day earlier, Senator Mark Kelly, a Democrat of Arizona, praised DHS for filling in the openings. "For too long, the Morelos Dam area has been an operational challenge for the Border Patrol agents to properly secure the border and keep our community safe," Kelly said in a statement. "I'm glad that the Department of Homeland Security has listened to Arizona and is going to close these gaps," Kelly added. "This is a step forward, and I'll keep working to ensure that Arizona has the tools needed for a secure and orderly process at the border, including fencing and barriers where they make sense." All right, so this goes on a little bit longer, but you guys get the point of it. So, geez, what is there to say about this? There's a lot to say about this. So, first of all, the argument now from Republicans, as you can see from Peter Doocy, is like trying to call Biden out on the hypocrisy. Hey, you said you're against the wall. You said it's racist. Now you're building it. That's a fair point to call him out on the hypocrisy. But also, shouldn't you be praising what he's doing? Because you guys support this. You guys like this. You guys wanted a border wall all along. Shouldn't Republican politicians and Republican voters across the country take a moment to say, hey, thank you, President Biden. We agree with you. This is our policy. You are now proposing our policy. You're going to enact our policies. So that's what's up. So in other words, all the stuff about Biden, far left, Democrat, communist, Marxist, socialist, extremist, listening to Bernie Sanders who's pulling his puppet strings, bro. Isn't that obviously bullshit? Isn't that obviously bullshit? See, like if a Republican politician decided, I'm going to fight for Medicare for all, and they substantively really are fighting for Medicare for all. Yeah, one of the things I might do is to say, well, here you are in October of 2018 saying, you know, Medicare for all is a communist plot that's trying to kill your grandma, and now you're fighting for it. Hypocrite much? I might make that point, but that would be a side point to the main point of like, bro, that's what's up. Thank you for supporting Medicare for all. This is all we want, is the government to represent us. That's from my perspective. So again, if you're on the right and you're, you know, tough on immigration or whatever, shouldn't you look at this and say, maybe Biden isn't what I thought he was. Maybe he's not some sort of far leftist. Maybe, if anything, he's center right. Maybe he's like a diet Republican. But they're not going to say that because they're not honest, because nobody's honest. Well, that's actually not true, because I would bet you that people on the left flank of the Democratic Party are going to go after Biden for this. Now, I haven't seen any of it yet, to be fair, but I bet they are going to go after him for this. Because there are some people in the left flank of the Democratic Party who sincerely believe that the wall's an abomination, it's racist, it separates us when we should come together, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so they'll go after him for this. But look, guys, the open secret is, if you've been following this stuff closely, Biden has pursued a number of Trump's border policies. We talked about it a number of times. Title 42, you know, deporting people because we're in a pandemic, so there's no due process. You're an immigrant, you come in this country, you're gone. And, you know, courts have ruled, I think, both ways on that, but ultimately I think they ruled that it is not allowed to do that. Remain in Mexico is another policy that Biden embraced. So certainly on the issue of the border, he's very Trumpian, even though his rhetoric when he ran, is, you know, rhetoric from the White House might be a little more soft and a little more sympathetic and a little more pro-immigrant. In terms of the actual policies he's implementing, very, very similar to Trump. Very similar to Trump. And look, the other point is, and this is unavoidable, the White House press spokesperson, I understand your job is paid liar, but you're supposed to be better at it. Because reading this exchange, god damn it, it's just so stupid. We're not finishing the wall. Okay, so is the Weasley like way to get out of this to say, no, we're not finishing the wall. There's certain areas where it's high traffic where we're filling in the border wall, but there are areas where we're not building the border wall, so we're not finishing it. We're just sort of adding to it a little bit where we think it matters. Okay, but at the same time, that still flies in the face of what you guys said your position was, right? So that's a very Weasley way to get out of it. It's a very Weasley way to get out of it. It's like you're finding a technicality to get out of it. I'm not building a full border wall on every mile of the southern border, so we're not finishing the wall. Yeah, but you're extending it. You're building parts of it in high traffic areas, which means you agree with the logic of the wall. So, look, I really think immigration is one of those issues where there's almost always bipartisan agreement among presidents of the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. That's why Obama was the deporter-in-chief. He broke the record on deportation. And again, this is a guy who had, you know, more soft rhetoric on immigration, but he pursued policies that are kind of right-wing. Biden's doing the same thing. Trump did the same thing. So this is one of those areas where there's very little difference between the parties. And it's just funny that the perception of that nationally, and certainly the portrayal of that in media, is nothing like the reality. All you hear is that, like, Democrats support open borders and, you know, Republicans want safety and security. That's all you hear. And now you guys know and this is why I always say print media is better than TV media, because TV media really has a lot of false notions that they put out there, whereas print usually is a lot more accurate in what they say. But now you know the dominant narrative is garbage.
Cable news is ripping us apart, dividing the country, making it impossible to function as a society, and making it impossible to know just what is true and what is false. But the good news is they are failing and they know it.
That is why we're building something new, a new mainstream, a healthier one, something more trustworthy, something that we are going to need in one of the most pivotal times in American history. We are building up here for the midterms, for the upcoming presidential election, but we need your help. So if you can help us out by becoming a premium member today at breakingpoints.com, we're trying to change America for the better and the entire world.
So what are you waiting for, guys? Go to breakingpoints.com and sign up and help us build a new mainstream.